Hey socialites, welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Ariell. I do mainly beauty videos, fragrance, and lifestyle. So if those are the type of videos you enjoy, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and come join the family. So in today's video, I'll be trying quite a few new drugstore or affordable makeup products. Some of them are brand new products that just came out, and some have been out a while, but they're just sort of new to me. E.l.f. has recently launched some new liquid contour bronzers, and I picked up 3 shades. So if you want to see how I got this look, then keep watching. So I've done my Clinique Moisture Surge 100 Hour for the moisturizer, and then for primer I put on a little bit of my E.l.f. liquid poreless just on the cheeks and a little bit on the forehead, which is usually my go-to. We're going to try out the Morphe Light Form Extended Hydration Foundation, and I did pick it up in the shade Rich 24W. And I remember when I picked out this shade in the store, it looks a lot lighter in the bottle than it does on the skin, and it's a nice glass frosted bottle that looks really nice actually. And then it has cream touches to it, so it's like frosted glass with like cream writing and a cream top, and it has a cream colored pump. So if you notice the slow run, I would say this is like more so on the thin side because it does run like sort of runny type liquid. This did seem like the best shade for me in the store. The one darker than this seemed too dark, but it's looking sort of light on the swatch. So we'll blend it out and see what it gives us. Start in the areas that I need the most coverage first. And I'm gonna use my LYS foundation brush. I'm sort of stamping it into the skin because I do want the most coverage. Ooh, it makes the skin look plump. I like that. I like those sort of juicy like foundations that makes the skin look sort of plump. There's a little bit of radiance to it. I thought this was a matte formula, but this is not matte. Improves the skin's radiance after 1 week of use. So this is a skincare packed foundation. It improves the skin's radiance after 1 week of use, improves hydration, improves skin's barrier function. Bring your best skin to light. It's a weightless long wear formula. Nice. I like those type of foundations. This one's a bit on the cool side. I typically go for neutral or warm leaning. I would do warm before I would cool on my skin. So I think I could do better on the shade range, but like I said in the store, this seemed like the best match for me. So we may have to manipulate this with like bronzer and powder. We have decent coverage. It's a little bit more than medium. So let's put a little bit more and see how much we could build this up. Comment down below if you've ever tried this before. What are your thoughts on it? The finish of it is really nice. It gives you like that healthy glow. So it looks like we can build this up to pretty much full, like almost full at least. I don't feel the need to go over it with like concealer to conceal anymore. This is like good enough for me for sure. So along with that foundation, I'm going to use the Filter Effect Soft Radiance Concealer. It seems like most of the concealers that I've tried lately have been radiant. Like the newer concealers give like radiant. So I don't know if that's the new thing or what, but I got it in the shade Rich 26. So it's another frosted situation, and this is what Rich 26 looks like. And immediately it's looking like the new matte concealer. It smells like bubblegum. Now I need to go back and check and see if the foundation has a scent, but this one you can smell right off the bat, bubblegum. So the foundation does not have that same scent. Taking my Amazon Puff, I'm gonna blend the concealer from the outer edges, working my way up. Definitely want to use a tapping motion to sort of give it a seamless blend and maintain the coverage without wiping it away. I'm liking the shade of the concealer. So E.l.f. just launched some new products. So let's do a little E.l.f. haul. We're gonna pause and do a little E.l.f. haul. And I guess it'll be a try on haul because we're gonna use them. So with the order, they gave me for free a daily cleanser with hyaluronic acid, Holy Hydration from E.l.f. Skin. And a few of the socialites said that they actually like E.l.f. Skin. So they've recently launched some liquid bronzer and contour. It's called Camo Liquid Bronzer and Contour. And I got 3 shades. But you guys, these go really deep. So if you needed like deep dark, they do have it. So I got 4, which this seems to be on the neutral side. I also picked up 5, which 5 looks a little lighter than 4. So this is 4, this is 5. And then I also picked up 6. So that darker one is 6. But I think they have like 7, 8, 9. So it goes pretty deep if that's what you need. Yeah, it's blending in with my skin almost. So that's 4. I can even barely see it. So that's 4. Let's do 5. So 5 really looks like my skin tone. 5 looks like I could wear this as a foundation, to be honest. I really should have did like 6, 7, 8. I don't know. On the website, it was really hard to tell, y'all. It looked a lot deeper on the website to me, and I like a subtle contour, so it was really hard to tell. So, and this one is 6. So this is probably the only shade that will work for me. Yeah. It's kind of a jump, right? Like 4 or 5, and then I feel like there's a huge jump between 5 and 6, right? And they have a new blush shade, y'all, and this is popping. It's called Coming In Hot Pink. This is hot, okay? I think this is the hottest pink that I own, but I'm very much a fan of E.l.f.'s Camo blushes. They're really good, y'all. And so this is Coming In Hot Pink. Wow. That's a standout. Okay, so let's go in with the number 6 bronzer from E.l.f. Start off with 2 because this is pretty deep, y'all. It seems like E.l.f. really catered to the deeper skin ladies with this one. And I'm going to use an expert face brush from Real Techniques. I would have liked a shade that was a little lighter than this, like not as brownish as this is maybe. It's not bad, but I'm not a fan of just how browny it is, but it blends out like butter. It really does blend out like butter, just like the blushes do. Almost seems like it's the same formula as the blush. A little bit goes a long way because this was a little bit too much product, but the good thing is that it does blend out fairly easily. So E.l.f., we do need an in-between shade right there for those who are my color. Oof, it's kind of like that. Too muddy looking right there. Like this shade gives a little muddy on me. So back in with the foundation brush. Let's try to even this out. Okay, so I'm going to use what's on the back of my hand, and this is quite radiant. As I'm blending it out, you see how radiant it is. It's like a slight sheen to it. And we're going to start up here just in case it's too pigmented. It does deposit quite a bit of color because I have it really sheared out on my brush. So for me to be able to see it this great means that it's really quite pigmented. I bet this would be beautiful on like a chocolate skin tone or somebody darker than me. This would be gorgeous. Okay, so let's go over it with just a little bit more of the concealer. Oh, this concealer smells so good, y'all. The LYS setting powder was on my October makeup tray, and I've been using the Makeup by Mario powder for most of the month. So let's get into the LYS for the rest of the month and see really what it's giving. I love how it has that sifter at the top, and this is the translucent shade. So I'm going to use the other side of that puff. Let's just move this band to the back And now we can use this side. Definitely want to make sure it's even, especially since I'm not super familiar with this powder. I've used it a couple of times. So there's not much creasing under eye, just barely. So let's tap that before we set. What's under the eye or on the face before we set is going to remain there after you set. So you definitely want to give yourself a little once over to make sure everything is smooth before you lock everything in with the powder. What do y'all think about the way the LYS powder looks? Have y'all tried this powder, by the way? I don't feel like I hear a lot of people talk about it or use it. And it's fairly new. It's only been out a couple months, I think. And this powder does come in a few shades. My go-to, which lately has been the E.l.f. brow gel. For this to be a radiant concealer, I'm not mad at it. I think it looks very fresh looking in a sense. Like, this is giving what I wished that the MAC one was given. So I recently used this in one of makeup tutorials, and it's the brow frame from Dominique Cosmetics, and I like it. It's in the shade Taupe, which works for my hair color, but I do like to deepen the tail just a little bit, even though I could get away with this color. And then my Sephora collection micro pencil, just to sort of give the brow a little bit more definition. See how it works? But I just want to just deepen a little bit. I'm gonna clean up the brow a little bit with my Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Concealer. It's in the shade 11. And this brush I got in like a Shein set, which I really like. It's so skinny, it just helps you to get the most precise brow if that's what you're into. Kokie Professional is a cosmetic company, gifted me a bunch of makeup, and I've been trying it out lately. And so this is the artist palette Peachy Queen. I showed it to you guys in a haul before. So the first row has some matte shades with this sort of champagne shade with some sheen to it. The next row has a shade in there that's very similar to the first row, to be honest. Some more mattes in there, and then we have some deeper matte shades in there. And this shade seem a little similar. They swatched really well, so let's try them out. This is the Pro Crease brush from Sephora collection, and I'm gonna take a combination of probably these two shades, dust off the excess because they're kind of on the soft side, so you want to dust off any excess, that way it's not like splotchy or patchy, and blend it in. So they show up pretty pigmented, even though I don't really have a base on my eye. Right under the brow I do, but I didn't prep any of the rest of the eye with any concealer, and look how it shows up. And it's a very smooth blend, so I do really like how they're showing up on the eye. I want to use one of these liquid shadows that they sent over. I'll swatch all three. So this one's like a burgundy like shade, or like a wine shade. The middle shade is like a duochrome or like a multi-chrome, and then this is sort of like an icy shade. So I'm gonna go in with the middle shade, which is called Millennium. I feel like this shade will work pretty well with the blush that I put on. So I'm gonna take this a little above my mobile lid. I'm gonna use a flat brush from that same Shein set for this, just because this is a more wet product. Ooh, it dries immediately. Okay, so this is one that you kind of want to map out your shape the first time you put on the eye, because the moment you put it on, it dries within like the first however many seconds. We'll just put it on the lid like this, because it dries pretty much instantly. So this one I was able to catch right before it dried down, and I'm able to sort of soften the edge. Not too much. It won't allow you to manipulate it too much, but you could get a little bit of a blend. Back into the same palette, I'm gonna take the darkest brown. I wanna start off with a little bit because this one packs a punch, which I like when my browns are pigmented, because usually a brown this dark, I want it to show up, you know, a little bit on the deeper side. This brown works really well with that chrome lid shade too. So I'm gonna take another blending brush. I got this one from, I think Marshall's. It's from Japanese. And I'm gonna go back into these sort of medium toned browns, sort of mauvey and brown, and fade that right above those colors. I want that lighter shade to peek through just a little bit. So Kokie has these velvet smooth eyeliners that are really creamy, and this one's in the shade Chocolate. So I'll take a flat shader brush and try to smudge it. Smudges really well. Fenty Hella Thick Mascara. So I had some Kokie blushes, but I can't seem to locate them at the moment, so we're gonna use those on the next video. And I'm gonna soften the edges of my e.l.f. blush with my Dior blushes because I want something like on the softer pink side to sort of give it that gradient. So that's a tip when you're using a really bold blush. You can soften almost any color with a really soft pink. Even if I use like a raisin shade, you could go over just the tip top of it to soften it so it won't look like your skin with just a patch of color. I'm gonna take the lightest shade in the eyeshadow palette and put that right in the inner corner. So I'm gonna pull out this set. This is the e.l.f. Michaela Marriage Material set, and it comes with a liner and a lipstick that's supposed to be neutral. This is another content creator, and this was like her wedding combo that she came out with e.l.f. Now I'll swatch the liner. This liner is a bit too light. Well, not even a bit, way too light for me. So definitely not going to be able to use the liner at all. This is the lip color. It's a super pale nude. So I'm going to use my NYX Line Loud pencil. And this is new to me as well. I'll swatch it right here. I have swatches everywhere. Swatch it right there. So it's a little on the softer side. This pencil is really creamy. This lipstick, honestly, for me would be like one that I pop in the center for brightness. That lip set definitely was not for deep skin tones whatsoever. It's just that sometimes when you look at swatches online, it's hit or miss. Sometimes you can't tell if shade will be deep enough. So I'm gonna take my e.l.f. lipstick in the shade Hustle. Beautiful peachy tone for really any skin tone, but I love it on deeper skin tones, mine and darker. And then I'm gonna take the e.l.f. lipstick from that Marriage Material set, which is called Pucker Up. I think this is limited, and I'm just gonna put a little bit. How pretty. So this is another NYX lip pencil. It's a little bit darker in the shade Rebel Inked. So I'm just gonna use this to overline a little bit. One of my darkest brown lip pencils is from Sephora collection. So let's compare Molasses. So that's Molasses and that's Rebel Kind. Molasses seems to look a little bit more creamier, and Rebel Kind looks similar in color. Very similar in color, except it's completely matte. It's a little drier of a formula. So when I was blending it in with the lip brush, it didn't want to budge or move. So it's just it's probably one of those long lasting pencils. And I'm gonna take one of my e.l.f. lip oils to top it with. They go on kind of clear, so even though you see orange, it shouldn't change the color much. This one's in the color Coral Fixation. Yeah, it doesn't change the color much. And the e.l.f. lip oils are excellent quality. So if you were wondering about the formula, especially for the price, go get them. Go get 2 of them. They're actually really good. So I actually really like how the look turned out. Let's take our number 7 powder in the shade Light and set under the eye. Ooh, this is giving glamorous. And keep in mind, I didn't even set the bottom part of my face, and it sort of dries down, which is interesting because this is a radiant product. It gives you a radiant finish, and usually those type of products don't really dry down that great, but this one does. It doesn't really feel emollient or wet. Now, I would recommend you to set it down, especially if you have oily skin, but I can get away with it. I have normal to combo skin type. I would love to know if any of you guys guys have tried any of these products. I'll have everything linked in the description box in case you're interested. If you're new here, welcome. I would love for you to come join the family by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. 'Cause I've been where you are. You're too scared to show me love. 'Cause too fresh with the scars. Well, I don't have the answers.